Hello, and welcome to some FNM Legacy Magic.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so we've got 3 rounds of Magic for you guys tonight.
17 players in the room for Legacy.
A lot more for other people.
How's it going, Brian?
Oh, guys, I had to walk, so I was getting everything set up, and like I start before all the people come in and, you know, get registered and whatnot. And so get this. Last I heard, 17 players playing in Legacy, 20 players playing in Standard,
yeah,
and get this, 40 players playing in Modern tonight. I don't know if it's just... Is it the Pro Tour?
The Pro Tour.
It's got to be the Pro Tour.
The Pro Tour.
It has to be the Pro Tour. But, oh my goodness. So, like, yeah, what an FNM. I walked out. I don't think we have room for a draft. Like, apparently there are some Netrunner people who, like, have a table. And, like, I guess we had to, like, struggle to get seating for people.
For sure. It's a madhouse out there.
It is absolutely insane. All right, so let's start with, I think we want to start with, we've got Les and Elliot, and then we've got Paul and Remy. A lot of people that we don't get to see on camera normally, but looks like we'll start with Les and Elliot, I think. If they decide to show up. Like the commander group, yeah. Still, it is just a madhouse out there. It's FNMs like this where I come into my nice podcast studio and it's empty.
You go.
It's just us, and I can just okay. People aren't crowding me except for Matt. It's the worst. The worst.
Someone's got to.
So 20 players playing Teamer Energy? No, Teamer Energy doesn't exist anymore, Stadotnu. I mean, I would know, because I totally know all about that new format that some people talk about.
Foil Engineered Plague, Brian?
Brian just needs and needs and needs. Probably a lot of a lot of blue-black control and like Sultai energy decks, and there are a couple other things. I think Mardu Vehicles is back, but I don't really know.
Yes, we're in Utah.
This place is in Utah. That's right. Draper, Utah. Exactly where you'd expect us to be.
Where else?
I can't think of anywhere. No. Just here. This will work. Alright, still haven't gotten people... Alright, I guess we'll jump in over here since the other table isn't showing up there. So we'll watch Paul versus Remy. So we know Paul's on lands. Oh, I need to get my timer up. That's what I need. There we go.
Sweet.
Lands versus land still. No, this looks like... Oh, he's playing it. Oh, he's playing Cheerios.
Okay. So, Cheerios.
Oh,
here we go.
He literally came in here and said he wasn't going to play it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so funny.
So, the card that Paul is reading right now is Beck and Call, which is acting as glimpses 5 through 8. Glimpse of Nature 5 through 8.
He's like, "Can I read that?" And he's like, "I'll get an English one from my dad." Oh, so funny. So I guess okay. They just... Alright, so we have Nate versus Steven on our backup match.
So Remy cast a land land grant, getting a tropical island. And then he passed.
Didn't play his land?
Didn't play his land. Now he's going to play that tropical island. And exile Simian Spirit Guide. And here comes a glimpse.
Here we go.
And a second glimpse.
You ready? Are you ready?
All right. Memnite. Draw two cards. And
here, you gain 5 life.
You gain 5 life. I draw 2 cards. Street Wraith, I'll only draw 1 card.
Oh, if he bricks here, I was.
We didn't see that many creatures in his
No.
hand.
I don't even think the deck plays like a terribly ton of creatures. I don't know. Solitaire.
This is
We'll
kind
see.
of solitaire. So, Memnite, draw 2 cards.
Oh, is he gonna whiff there?
And
No, he's got to have more things. Okay.
2
Couple
petals. Crack 2 petals for a Beck, which is going to be a third glimpse effect.
Draw
for the turn.
draw 3. Summoner's Pact.
Pact.
Okay, so he's
Okay.
got to go off now.
All in.
Yeah, he's all in. He's either won or he's lost. Gonna gain his opponent 5 more life.
And draw 3 cards off of it. So, looking through what he's cast already.
So he needs to cast this one as well.
Okay.
So this is like a 4-mana 2/2 that when I can't even remember the name of the card honestly. If you have a forest, you can play it for free and your opponent gains 5 life.
Wow.
So he has a forest.
Yeah.
Because he got it off a land grant.
Sure. And here we see another card entering the battlefield, which will be 3 more cards for Remy. And you have to think Remy's getting pretty close to a point where he's just going to be able to go off without, like, he could still whiff, but it's a very hard spot to whiff from here. But it looks like he might have whiffed here. He's not just playing another creature immediately.
And he doesn't have the mana to cast something like a Retract, something that's bringing all the creatures back to his hand so that he can play them again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there is a buy, Ginger Chief. If you wanted to head over, you could definitely do that.
Mm-hmm.
Tournament just barely started. 10 minutes away isn't too far. All right, land grant. Here's my hand. See a Mox Opal, 2 Pact of Negation, a Noxious Revival.
Yeah, and there was no
He
no
collapsed.
creature to keep going, so
No,
he's gonna die to his own pact there.
He could have. I'm kind of surprised he didn't Noxious Revival a Summoner's Pact. Or maybe he didn't have another green creature.
He couldn't. I think it was off of his last 3 draws.
All right, let me get the backup match set up for you guys. Might be a touch more interesting, but I'm not a doctor, so I wouldn't know. So we got Steven or Steve. I don't know. Versus Nate.
All right.
So Nate's always on a brew, or at least usually. Doesn't look like it though. This looks like as Grixis Delver as it comes.
Looks pretty stock. Now we see a Coiling Oracle in play on Steven's side, and does that mean he might be on some kind of opposition?
See, that's what I said. But last time I saw a Coiling Oracle, people are like, "No, it's Allurin, silly."
It's probably Allurin, but one can dream.
Did I get it wrong? Thank you, Brian. This is Steven. That makes way more sense. Now that he says that, I'm like, oh, duh. Steven has the Chandra mat. Okay. I feel like I did know that. It is usually on Delver. There we go. So this is Grixis Delver.
Okay.
We know now.
Certainly, this is certainly not Esper Mentor.
Mm. The pyros and all.
So, looks like we've got a Cabal Therapy and a Brainstorm in response. And earlier, it looks like it's possible that there was a Gitaxian Probe, so Nate might know what some of these cards are. We definitely see a Force in Steven's hand.
Yeah, this might be the Call Me Maybe. Didn't we call it natural no Call Me Maybe? Is that what we called it last week? It's not Alurin. It's just a natural order deck, right?
So Steven probes Nate and sees Natural Order, Leovold, and what's that other card? Couldn't quite see it.
Natural order
artifact.
I don't know what the artifact is. Maybe a Mox Diamond?
Could be a Mox Diamond.
Where's Little Notebook when you need him? I don't know. We lost him. Let's just call it Sultai now.
So a couple Deathrite activations going on there.
Paging Little Notebook. Exclamation point notebook. I love it. That makes way sense. Flashback.
Here comes Other Therapy. And
this is looking to take Force of Will so he can that he can resolve this this Leovold, right?
Sure. That's what it looks like to me. And it looks like Steven was kind of playing around with the idea of activating it. Or using a Brainstorm or a spell. Okay, Spell Pierce. Goes for a Spell Pierce. Nate says, yeah, sure, that's fine. And casts Leovold into the Force, leaving Steven with 0 cards in hand and 2 Deathrights in play.
Yeah, this was a good line from Steven. Because he had all blue cards, he was able to both not lose the Force of Will and get the Leovold.
Sure.
This was strong. Nate's probably a little tilted. Maybe. I think the Wasteland the Wasteland draw has got to be the most annoying part here. Now he's multiple lands off of casting Natural Order. Oh, Smuggler's Copter.
Smuggler's Copter. So we know Nate has Natural Order in hand, but that's all we know at the moment. And Deathrite coming in.
Goes into 12, now 11. The most baller player. Oh, there's a Brainstorm.
Brainstorm's a good way to start getting things going. I do like the Smuggler's Copter here. Here comes another Therapy. Revealing land. Wow, okay. Brainstorm coming in, and we see a Leovold, a Force of Will, and an unknown card.
Oh, it's a Veteran Explorer. This is NO fit. Changing the name yet again. This is a Natural Order fit. You were right, Brian.
Wow.
Brian knows all the things.
So you have to imagine next turn that Veteran Explorer is going to get cast. We'll see an activation of that copter coming in.
You have your sources.
Delver getting forced there. That's an interesting one.
All right, he doesn't have a lot of time to work with as is. He probably saved himself an entire turn by doing so, and that might be all that matters. So on the first match, I hate to ruin everybody's hopes and dreams, but looks like Paul landed a Sphere of Resistance against Cheerios, and
ouch.
That's just yeah, Cheerios can't beat that.
No. That's a rough one.
So we're gonna leave them. Well, I guess we could look over there for a sec while this is over, right?
It looks.
Maybe. There we go. I think this one's a little one-sided.
Little bit. One thing that Remy could do to try to get back into it is cast a retract to get rid of the sphere effect and then try to go off on the turn. That or some kind of Hercules recall effect.
Retract does your own artifacts, right?
Is there... Yeah. Like, recall would do it if he runs that... If he has some sort of artifact hate that he could cast through it, like pitching 2 mana sources for something to get rid of that. Like...
Alright, Remy scoops it up.
Yeah. It's pretty hard to get around.
Silly and fun deck choice. Too bad we couldn't see it go off there. Alright, let's get back to these guys. Looks like they're going to finish up sideboarding.
As always, best shuffle cams in the state, if not all of Twitch.
The world. Best shuffle cams in the world.
Right here.
We take things seriously.
Oh, we
here
do.
At Paragon City Games.
Very seriously. This is not a joking matter.
No. I mean, sorry. Yes. Do people normally double sleep? They're like, yes. Absolutely. Now, Remy's deck? I don't know about Remy's deck. No, he had a tropical, so at least one card was.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, most people do.
All right. All sideboarded up, shuffling up, be ready to go very soon. So with Nate, you have to imagine that he's wanting to get an aggressive start with a Veteran Explorer into a Cabal Therapy interaction.
That is what he's looking for.
Take away any of the counter magic and then cast a natural order for, I'm assuming, Progandus. Is that what he goes for?
Yes. I don't think Steven will have any basics.
Okay.
So this is kind of Veteran Explorer's place to shine, right?
Mm-hmm. And on Steven's side, you're trying to land probably a Delver on turn 1, flip it, and then just kind of ride things out as quickly as you can. Maybe with some disruption along the way.
I see a young Pyromancer. I don't think there's a Delver in the hand. There is a Delver.
So Death right down. I have to say, I am a huge fan of Coiling Oracle. I love Coiling Oracle.
It's just a good card.
Any deck that can play Coiling Oracle, I'm a big fan of.
I think it's a little outshined by Baleful Strix
nowadays. It is, for sure.
And black is seeing more play in like pretty much most decks. So that's what the reason it's not being played a ton.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Coiling Oracle seems like a great card. It's probably better in this deck because you can get to that natural order on turn 3.
Yeah.
It can potentially ramp you.
Sure. And it's blue. It could pitch to a force if he was playing. If he was playing any forces, I don't believe that there's enough room in the deck to kind of run that counter.
All right. So Gitaxian Probe sees a Brainstorm, a Young Pyromancer, a Ponder, and a Spell Pierce, a Wasteland, and a Volcanic Island. This is a pretty powerful hand from Steven. Actually, it's just a great hand.
Yeah. And that Deathright's going to mean that Steven doesn't even have to choose whether he's holding up counter magic or not and playing his threats.
Okay.
So Fatal Push coming in, taking care of that Deathright, and that's pretty good on Nate's side. That's going to slow down Steven's production a little bit.
Yeah, now he has to decide whether he wants to Wasteland Ponder or Wasteland hold up Spell Pierce, or like I wonder what he wants to do this turn. It looks like,
yeah, I think if I were Steven, I'd be looking strongly at Wasteland Ponder and just kind of trying to slow things down a little bit. But with no green in play on Nate's side, it's really kind of a weird spot.
I don't hate just slamming Young Pyro either. I didn't see much of that Ponder other than an EE that he put all the way down.
Seems to like the 3 though.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Delver.
Okay. Well, now we kind of see why you liked it.
Yep, best of both worlds. Got the Ponder and a threat instead of just a threat, or just a Ponder and a Wasteland.
We see a Zathrid Swarm, excuse me, in Nate's hand.
Okay.
Still no green mana in play. Xantid Swarm.
How's it going, Battaglia? Welcome in. Yep, here's a Copter. We see a Gitaxian Probe revealed to Delver. It's a flip.
Not very surprising there on the flip.
No. And we do know that there's an EE on top of his deck.
And we're going to see Young Pyro come in. Probably going to see a Probe followed that up pretty quickly, and we'll get a much better look at Nate's hand here.
Gitaxian Probe, let's get an Elemental.
So Abrupt Decay, Leovold, Verdant Catacombs,
Xantid Swarm. Xantid Swarm. Is this because he just needs, so he can attack with it and then he can natural order it?
Yeah, it's a green creature. You can attack with it. You can then not have to worry about any of the counter magic in Steven's hand and peacefully natural order it away.
Battalion, no. 3 rounds on Friday. 3 rounds on Friday. 4 rounds on Tuesday.
So basic forest is the draw for Nate. And here comes a Leovold. We're going to see a Brainstorm in response.
Yeah, I think he knows that he's probably not finding an answer for this, but I would assume this brainstorm is just to say, yeah, I'm probably not getting this off the board anytime soon. May as well draw now.
Sure.
It says Tuesday night?
It does.
Where?
Bottom right corner.
Oh, I didn't switch the title. Thanks, guys.
You mean it's not Tuesday?
I thought I did switch that. Means I need to switch the other table too. Usually I'm so good at getting everything set up.
So Nate does find an answer to Leovold. Unfortunately not before it hit play. Pyromancer makes another token, and now I think Steven's in a really strong spot here. We know that Nate has an Abrupt Decay. Abrupt Decay is not going to be very good right here on a board facing down so many threats. You've got 3 tokens in play currently, Flip Delver and a Pyromancer, all of which kind of demand an answer.
Yeah, it's a Smuggler's Copter. Next StarCraft.
True name.
Okay.
Daze.
Yeah, Daze was one of the cards that hadn't been seen, so he does not get an elemental for casting True Name. He has to show his opponent. Yeah, no. Don't get an elemental for that one. No attack from Delver.
Yeah, that's a little bit interesting.
I mean, if there was like a fetch land where like maybe a Dryad Arbor comes in,
sure,
then I could understand, like, you know,
don't want to get ambushed by the copter.
But Nate is crawling his way back into this game.
Sure. So
he still has plenty of life to work with.
Pyromancer's down. We're going to see that last card is this Xantid Swarm that is already known about, but that's still going to draw Steven another card.
Kind of a nombo that Xantid Swarm doesn't have a power. It can't actually crew Copter. This is probably a card that he's keeping in his hand in hopes he can find a Brainstorm.
I think he just wants to discard it to Copter.
Or discard it to Copter. Yeah, good point. A way to exchange it for another card.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised to see Nate run out that fetch land, but it might mean that he does have that Dryad Arbor and wants to make sure that he'll be able to activate Copter. So now we see Delver get in there, and surprisingly, Nate just lets that happen.
Strange. No attack, no block.
No attack, no block, no activation of that Copter.
What? And I wonder what changed. You know, like what changed that he felt like, okay, no attack, okay, no block.
Right. And he does get the Dryad Arbor.
This is something I kind of expected, right? Like, you're playing Natural Order. Makes sense that you'd have Dryad Arbor in your deck. It's kind of sweet that you can now fetch to crew your Copter.
Sure, yeah.
And no, it is not a sneaky Dryad.
So here we see Copter activate and get in. And pitches a land. And Coiling Oracle.
Yes.
Coiling Oracle reveals land to play. Sack that land. Play a Swarm. And I have to assume that Swarm is on chump block duty?
Yep. Believe so. Get another basic forest.
It probably doesn't have to be yet. with life total at 9, you're probably okay for one more turn.
Nate can gain a couple life. He's looking for a natural order. That's what he's looking for.
Sure.
He's like, no, I'm not getting rid of the Xanthid Swarm yet.
Yep.
He did not activate his Deathrite Shaman. He didn't play it that turn, did he?
No, that Deathrite's been in play for a little bit on Nate's side.
No activation from it.
So, activates, comes in, trigger.
Trigger on Xanthid Swarm, trigger on Copter.
Draw this card. And we see a Reclamation Sage entering play. And now we see the activation of Deathrite. So, a little bit of an odd sequence there for Nate.
Yeah, strange.
Probe you, no cards in hand for Nate, so this is just straight up draw a card. In for 3. Nate down to 5. Now, Nate is presenting a decent amount of damage.
I mean, Deathrite can stop the other Deathrite, so maybe not as much damage as it looks like. Did you watch your match? Yes, we did watch, or we at least watched game 1. Game 2, just a Sphere of Resistance came down, and it was.
Here is the natural order.
He found it. So Xanthid Swarm makes it so no spells can be cast from Steven, and so this natural order is just going to resolve. Nothing can be cast. Here's a Dragon Lord Atarka.
Wow.
Okay.
There you go. And that's enough for Nate to take that game. So we get to see a game 3 between these two decks. Wow.
Just a Dragon Lord Atarka. It's not a big deal.
Gotta hand it to Nate. He knew what his outs were, and he played the game to them.
Yeah, he really did.
And that's exactly what he wanted to see.
It really was. Alright, let's see if I can get Dragon Lord Atarka up here for you guys, since we're going to see a game 3. Or it's just not going to show us. Something with our site just isn't working. Never mind. Well, Dragon Lord Atarka, let me just read it, I guess, since usually the site that we show you cards with is not functioning. It is a 7-mana 8/8 flying or flample. Flying trample, flample. When Dragon Lord Atarka enters the battlefield, it deals 5 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers your opponent controls. So, like, Dragon Lord Atarka just comes down there. It's a 8/8 beater.
Sure.
You know, your opponent's at 9, so it's not like they're going to do much. And then you're going to take out their Delver, their Deathrite Shaman, and one of their 3 tokens, leaving them with 2 elementals facing down your board of like
8/8 flying trample.
Yeah. No big deal.
not to mention the rest of your board.
Right. Yeah, so that really worked out for him. And here we were thinking, oh man, Progenitus is going to come into play, then he needs to live for a turn, then Progenitus is going to hit and kill him.
Nate says, nah, I can do better than that.
No, I can win. I can get my opponent to scoop his cards up right now.
I can do better. Alright, opening hands being drawn. On Steven's side, looks like we've got a Trop, Brainstorm. Look, kind of Landlight.
There is a True Name Nemesis in EE. I don't know why I do the whole head turn thing. I can't see. I can't see more when I do that. Maybe a Fatal Push, or is that a Deathrite Shaman? I'm not sure. He might be banking on Death. Oh, they're double Deathrite Shaman and a Delver. Okay.
Nate on the mole decides to keep debating about his scry. keeps on top.
We're gonna start things off with, I would assume, a Deathrite Shaman. So
Okay.
Deathrite Shaman doesn't have any mana to use here.
Yeah, and with the death rate on Nate's side as well, that mana is going to be hard to come by.
Yep, Gitaxian Probe is looking for specifically a fetch land. He does not find it. He sees a Ponder. Now this might be enough to find one.
So here comes Ponder. And I love that Nate has Coiling Oracle.
Coiling Oracle, he's got Copter, he's got a Fatal Push, a Dryad Arbor, and
got
a Trop.
A lot going on here.
No black mana for push.
But he has a Deathrite in play, so it's quite possible that you can get something going where you have Copter pitches land from hand. You can then activate, assuming that Steven's Deathrite is tapped. You can get something going.
Yeah, it looks like it might be. I think this is probably Delver coming down from Steven. His hand is really panned out. Like top of the deck was Gitaxian Probe, draw you into Ponder, draw you into fetch land.
Yep.
And play my Delver. No big deal.
Sometimes you just get there.
The power of the cantrips.
Steven deciding how he wants to tap here. Activates Deathrite.
You're gonna play.
In comes Delver.
And pass. Okay.
And definitely think that's the right sequencing there from Steven. So here comes Copter. And passes back.
So now there are no more lands in the graveyard. He's gonna be looking for another fetch. Here's a Force of Will. Oh, is that a wasteland?
Yep.
It is a wasteland.
And
a Gitaxian Probe. Yeah, that wasteland looks mighty fine right now.
Steven with all the gas here. He's able to set up that Delver flip. Probe's able to get the remaining card on the top that he knows about into hand. Needs to see if the coast is actually clear here.
Yeah,
it
so
is.
Leovold was the other card. Still looking for black mana. Now, Dryad Arbor is not the worst, but it's definitely not great either.
It looks like Steven's going to opt just to play a true name here.
I don't blame him. This is not going to be an easy card to answer.
Oh, Gurmag Angler.
We didn't see that one.
We didn't see that one. Wow. Okay.
Why Gurmag over True Name? He sees a couple derpy blockers.
Unsure.
I mean,
so here we see kind of the quickest activation of Copter.
So he'll get to draw a card and discard a card.
Yep.
You know, if I'm Steven, don't you just want to wasteland and then play True Name there?
I mean, that's kind of what I thought. You can't wasteland and True Name because Nate's Deathrite was active at the time.
It was active.
You'd have to attack first, and then you'd be able to do it.
Okay.
Assuming that the same line of play comes in from Nate's side before that Gurmag.
Yeah. Alright, here's a Coiling Oracle. Reveals another Coiling Oracle. And I imagine we'll see a little Dryad Arbor here.
Yep. Dryad Arbor go. In for 5 with Gurmag. down to 15. You know what? I think that True Name was the last blue card in hand outside of a force.
Okay, so he was purposefully keeping it to Force of Will. Interesting. Yep. Was this Massacre? Massacre seems like a good one, right?
Mm. Here comes another Coiling Oracle, reveals Natural Order.
Now we know that there's a Force of Will in Steven's hand, but he doesn't have another blue card. He has Pyroblast and he has EE.
Yeah.
He's gonna get rid of Delver to gain a couple life. So Delver is the draw. Now the question is does he want to cast this? I think he'd rather just have that Force of Will.
Yeah, I think at this point Steven has his board presence. He'd rather just keep ticking away and play it a little bit safer. Still mildly surprised to see this Wasteland still in play.
Yeah. Looks like another land. It looks like a basic forest was the draw.
That is 4th mana for...
Okay, that's black. That's a black land. This can threaten... There we go.
Okay. So
Steven in just a commanding lead.
Nate's got to think whether he wants to go for Natural Order here or play things a little bit safer. Another Copter comes down, and that's a pretty good card.
Looks like safer was the name of the game.
Yeah, for sure. And that makes a lot of sense on Nate's side. You know, he's not terribly threatened by the board that Steven has at the moment. He's able to kind of shape his hand and potentially get there with a Natural Order, possibly protected by a Cabal Therapy or something along those lines.
Yep. So he's going to crew up the Copter. He's just going to trump block the Gurmag Angler, but this does give him a loot. Drawing a card and discarding a card. It looks like he's debating what he wants to discard at the moment. This has got to be intimidating coming from Nate's side. The opponent has 5 cards in hand and played nothing.
Yeah.
You know what does that tell? What does that tell you? Like obviously there's interaction in there. There's no way it's just a bunch of lands. Okay, so, second main phase we'll see a Deathrite Shaman.
So more life gain from Nate's Deathrite. Untaps quickly, draws his card for turn.
Still no Wasteland. Like still no Wasteland.
It's you know, and that has to be kind of a big signal to Nate as well. Is Steven keeps holding onto that Wasteland. He's not using it, so that to me signals that he needs the mana. He wants to have that extra mana open. Possibly to play around like a Spell Pierce or something, or I don't know.
Looking at his hand, I don't see a whole lot of use for it. I kind of would have expected it to come from somewhere else, or be used for something else. I mean,
EE right. Down on one.
So so he's gonna use Wasteland to use for EE. After this, then I'm not really sure what he'll use it for. He's gonna choose to gain a couple life. I'm not sure what creature. It looks like he exiled a Deathrite Shaman from Steven's graveyard.
This still hasn't taken Nate off of the ability to cast Natural Order with that Dryad Arbor in play.
Right.
But it does take him off of being able to activate, make sure the coast is clear with something along the lines of, say, Cabal Therapy and cast natural order.
Now Green Sun for 1. This has got to be huge. This is probably a veteran explorer. Yeah, this is going to get in the way of a Gurmag Angler. He's going to get 2 lands. Steven's going to get a whole lot of nothing.
And gain 5 life on Nate's side.
Yeah. Seems like a great thing. Because to shuffle that Green Sun Zenith back into his deck. Now Steven, okay. Yep, get Wasteland Dryad Arbor.
Snap block on the Gurmag.
And Steven's just looking at Pyroblast and like Lightning Bolt in his hand.
Sure.
And I can't quite see that back. Oh, 2 Pyroblast. Just no red mana.
Yep.
None. I'm not sure Pyroblast was a card that was ever going to do anything in this matchup. Not a ton of blue. Like,
kind of an odd thing. Leovold's probably the bigger one.
Lightning Bolt killed Leovold, though.
Only after it's entered play, though.
Yeah. Well, looks like he's 4 mana Massacre.
Steven's going to give that a good read. Normally not a card you see being cast for mana very often, but we'll read that for you since it's not coming up for us. Basically, it's going to be a 4 mana infest here. All creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. So that's going to get Force of Will. And here we see a Flusterstorm.
Yep. This is the 3rd spell cast this turn. So Flusterstorm is going to catch, and now it's just Gurmag Angler versus, I mean, this is what I want to see. I want to see this fetch land. Go and get a Dryad Arbor. And I want to see Natural Order get cast. Dragon Lord Atarka coming in, taking care of this Gurmag Angler.
We see Nate just pass here, facing down a lethal Gurmag. He hasn't just packed it in yet. And Steven does find that elusive red source. Here comes a Click. Vendilion Click coming in. That's going to warrant a Pyroblast or a Lightning Bolt.
Probably Pyroblast, yeah.
And I believe that'll do it for Nate. I don't think he has any more tricks up his sleeve here. Yep.
Yeah, didn't quite get there.
That does it. So Steven takes that match 2-1. And Grixis Delver able to get there over.
Yeah, it was well played by Steven. He had a pretty good game. He was able to find a lot of threats. Really put Nate on the back foot since turn 1.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah. And that hand that could have been the 1-lander that got away, Ponder Later, is looking amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like risky,
but rewarded.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like instantly too. Like it was like, okay, this hand might not pan out, and then immediately it's like cantrip and do exactly what I need.
Sure.
It's like, all right. It's got to be frustrating from Nate's side, but sigh of relief from Steven as he takes a 1-lander with only one of his colors.
Yeah.
You know. It may as well have been a basic island, and now he goes from having that to like, okay, now I'm like threatening 8 damage a turn, and I didn't even need my red mana.
Sure,
not to the last turn.
Who needs red mana?
I don't know. I guess Grixis Delver does. I don't know.
Blue Black Delver.
Blue Black Delver. All right, so not too much longer left in our round 1, guys. In fact, not much longer at all. So, I got to watch a little bit of the Pro Tour.
Okay,
just a touch. I got to see a little bit of drafting. and then I woke up and I got to see like the last 2 rounds
Okay.
of Modern. Can I just like express how nice it was to hear that Reed Duke beat Tron in the last round? It's just I know what it's like to get faced up against Tron with a black green deck, and so and they're like, yep, Reed Duke won his round, and I'm going, oh.
Tron usually does a pretty good job of praying against those fair mid-rangey decks, but sometimes you do get there.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to watch more of it. I know that the reruns are running right now, so thank you everybody for hanging out with us today. Oh, it didn't go to time. What's wrong with our timer? It just restarted.
All sorts of little things going on today. Gremlins in the system.
Weird.
Well, guys, in the meantime, if you guys are joining us for the first time, welcome. We're happy to have you here.
Yeah.
We do this twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays. We have live Legacy action coming your way. And on the other days of the week, Kyra is here streaming for you at various times of the day. And if you want to find out when Kyra is going live and what he's playing in Legacy for the day,
always Legacy.
Where can they find that?
They can just throw me a follow.
There you go.
Yeah. Give us a follow when I go live. You'll be able to see that. Come hang out, watch some Legacy. Sometimes I'll have Bryce with me.
Yeah.
And we'll play some randomness. Other times we'll take things a little more seriously. We play a lot of non-blue decks. I've had people like, Kyra, please play something blue, and I'm like, why? Why would I play something blue? That just seems ridiculous.
I hear Force of Will is a good card.
Oh, that's why.
And Brainstorm.
Nah. Now that you mention it, I might play a little bit more blue. Does sound nice. Does sound nice. Yeah, earlier today we had a stipulation. We played some Punishing Jund.
Ooh, nice. Right up your alley.
Yeah, starting. I know, right? Stipulation to play the deck that I want to play. I started off 3-0 and didn't draw too well after that. We went 3-2.
Okay,
it was fun.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
It's definitely a deck that can be hit and miss. Like,
yes. I mean, once again, it's not blue.
Yeah.
I don't get to fix my draws when they're bad.
For sure.
I do have things like Sylvan Library, which gets good. It's a good card, but usually not running too many of them.
Speaking of the Pro Tour,
okay.
So we've seen a kind of resurgence in formats being added back to the Pro Tour for people to play.
Okay.
Do you think that they would ever do a Legacy Pro Tour?
Well, we're going to have a team Pro Tour come up, right? Yeah. Legacy will be a part of it.
Sure.
So, I think that's going to be a platform where they're gonna consider it, right? But it's kind of hard for them to do that because all the PPTQs, most of the ways that people can actually qualify for these Pro Tours are standard and modern events,
right? And
so even if you're able to qualify for a Legacy Pro Tour, I'm sure a lot of people would be like, now I have to get my hands on this expensive deck. Some people would just be smart and rent something out, but now they have to figure out a format that to play it well, to play in Legacy well, you need to know Legacy well.
Yeah.
And if you're coming from another format, then you just, I think everybody would just be playing Sneak and Show, because decks that don't care what your opponent does, which I think is kind of lame, but I don't know. It could be cool.
Be interesting. I'm not sure. Like you said, I think logistics wise, it's hard to do, especially with a banned and reserved list where, some of these cards are hard to get a hold of. There is definitely, we saw earlier on when Star City started running their events, the prices of some of these legacy staples went through the roof.
Yep.
If you had a Pro Tour, things would go pretty crazy, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
It would be awesome to see that being said.
It really would. I am excited for the Team Pro Tour. And it's a little easier that way, right?
Sure.
And maybe they like the team format enough that's kind of like them catering to the legacy format, but people who are already a part of the legacy already hitting the Pro Tour,
Mm-hmm.
right? These are people that are like, okay, we need to branch off into teams. I need to find a team for this event. Let's figure it out. There are absolutely people on the Pro Tour who would, be super happy playing legacy.
Oh, definitely.
So I don't think it's going to be hard. I don't think it's going to be hard to get people to play legacy in that way. One in every three needs to play it instead of less.
Yeah.
Or more. So could be cool. Man, chat is so silent tonight. So silent.
Well, that's okay.
We haven't seen somebody chat in, 20 minutes.
We're here for you anyways.
Yeah. Makes me wonder if chat's working. Like, what the? This isn't normal. Usually chat has all sorts of things to say. Okay.
So pairings are just about to go up.
That they are. We're waiting on one more match. Lame.
Cool. Well, in the meantime, we've got a couple of things that we can talk about.
We do. We absolutely do.
We've got Cats and Cantrips.
Yes.
Which is partnered up with
Paragon City
Games.
Let's see.
And these are the lovely tokens that you see us use on stream. And if you want your own copies of these lovely tokens, we're going to show you how to get them.
There we go.
A couple different ways you can get them.
Yeah.
First is you can check out this Etsy page that we're showing you right here.
You can also check out eBay. I think eBay is probably the best place to get them.
Yep.
If you just look at the Paragon City Games storefront, that's probably the best way. You can also do the same thing if you're looking for singles. Paragon City Games storefront on TCG Player.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Easy. So.
My Zombardment deck, I had to get a couple servos recently.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty cute. Strike fear in my opponent's eyes. The Merit Lage might actually do that. I was talking to the artist about this one, and she said, I can't make things look not cute.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I mean, that's terrifying, but in like the cutest of ways, right?
I love that token. It's probably one of my favorites. Top 3 for sure. So all different types of tokens for all different types of formats. Elemental tokens, what we're looking at right now.
She also makes 5 new tokens a month. So we also have a Patreon, which I will link to find people. And this way you can keep up with the tokens that come out each month.
Yeah.
5 new tokens a month. Pretty awesome.
And
once you hit the $15 or more a month, then you get 3 of each new token, 3 random tokens, and you can also submit your own idea for a new token, which is great. I think this caters to EDH players more than anybody else.
Definitely. But if you also have your pet legacy deck that you love and you want some of these tokens for, that's a great way to get them made.
Yeah. All right, let's see what's going up. Round 2 is up.
All right.
We have Bryce versus Corey. Oh, that's the one we're watching. We also have Paul versus Jeff. So that's probably D&T versus Lands, I believe.
Okay.
We just have to watch Bryce and Corey though.
Of course.
Get that round timer back up. Maybe.
Fingers crossed.
There we go.
Awesome.
That's what I was missing. Okay. Let's get over here. I'm going to update some things. So we've got Bryce over here on our right.
Hi, Jesse.
What's up, Jesse? Finally, somebody in chat's going to say something. Jesse, you broke the silence, and we appreciate it. Matt and I were panicking. We were like, people aren't talking. How do we know what to talk about? All right, not sure what either of these players are on. I would assume that Bryce is either on a blue-red Delver or a Grixis Delver. Corey could be on anything. You're good at that. You're good at breaking the silence. Well, I appreciate it. So, Jesse, now that you're in chat, I have to say I had kind of a pile of cards that I hadn't updated my cube with. You know, that they were just, I was kind of waiting, and in that pile was this lovely Ancestral Visions. And I got to put this nice Mark Poole signed foil Ancestral Visions into my cube, and I'm just going, yeah, I owe that guy. I didn't see what it said.
Bryce trying to tell us something.
Yeah, he was trying.
Failing, but trying.
It was a good try. I appreciate Bryce when he tries and stuff. That's another thing is I plan on firing a cube this next Sunday. I know if Jorgensen was here, he'd be like, "Well, are you going to stream it?" And then I have to be like, "Well, yes, I really want to stream cube." Oh, my cube has style. I think I'm less than 20 cards away from having a 720 card cube completely foiled out.
Now that being said,
we're repairing. That's what he said. Repairing.
Oh man. Okay. Well. Okay, new pairings going up.
Yeah, it's got to just be insane out there. They're probably having trouble getting.
Okay.
All right. New start time. We've got Noah versus Jeff. So this is probably Miracles versus either D&T or Maverick.
Gotcha.
I would assume, and then we've also got Les versus Anthony. Let's do Les versus Anthony. These are two names that we don't have on camera too often. And Les has always got something cool. I know he built Nick's Fit, but I don't know if that's what he's playing. He also plays Pox sometimes.
Ooh.
Large turnout or just crazy? Both.
17 players for Legacy tonight. Mm-hmm. Over 40 for Modern.
Over 40 players for Modern.
Over 20 for Standard, was it?
Yes.
And then other players and games going on.
We have a table for EDH players and a table for Netrunner players. The house is completely packed. I'm pretty sure we had to set up new tables and things like
Bryce
that.
Came in today, said I couldn't find parking.
Yeah, he's like I had to park in the back.
I had to go park in the back. I couldn't find parking.
Now, to some people that might sound like a problem, but to us, we're like, yes.
It's really great.
Excellent. Let's get everybody
to see and hear, and it's a great feeling to walk into the crowded store and be like, oh yeah.
Oh, that's not what I meant to do. All right. Over here, this is Jeff. $40 Modern, yeah. We've got 17 players for Legacy, so that's a pretty normal number. Maybe a little less than normal, but not much.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, looks like we got some opening hands being drawn for Les and Anthony here, and
all right. I saw. There's a mulligan from Anthony. Kind of looks like he's on 4-color. I couldn't quite see. I saw Baleful Strix. How's it going, Riley Cold? Welcome. Oh, by the way, Riley Cold, when you next time, since you subbed recently, next time you tune into one of my MTGO streams, let me know what deck you want me to play. All right. When you sub, you get to choose. So. Look at that. Jesse renews his hero ship. Awesome. Thank you so much for the subscription, Jesse. That is awesome.
Thanks for being a hero.
We need more heroes like Jesse.
We do.
We do. And now that Jesse has subbed, he gets to choose. You know, if you ever tune into my MTGO streams, a sub, you get to choose what deck I play. Unless it's Sneak and Show, Jesse. I'm kidding. If that's really what you want me to play, I will.
Ponder coming in on Anthony's side of the board.
Ooh, love this basic.
Yeah.
Love the basic.
Basic game, definitely on point. And less looks like
Pox.
Pox?
No. Chrome Mox.
Chrome Mox coming down.
Imprinting Dark Confidant.
Incoming Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize resolves.
Diabolic Edict, Thoughtseize, Lightning Bolt, double Brainstorm. That is the hand. So what's your take here, Matt?
Knowing that Les has another Thoughtseize in hand, I'd be kind of tempted to take Brainstorm. If he has just a Wasteland follow-up. So
okay.
Interesting. I think Brainstorm's still probably the take here. You just want to cut Anthony off of finding more answers.
I think I do looking if Les is on Pox, which it looks to me that he is, or some kind of Pox deck, right? I think I don't think that most of Anthony's hand matters. Brainstorm has got to be the most important card.
Sure. Here we see Anthony with the Brainstorm, and let's see what those top 3 cards are. It looks like there's is that a Bayou?
It is a Bayou. Yeah, I was saying I thought he was on 4-color. Force of Will, Bayou.
Force of Will, Bayou. And, wow, not what Anthony wants to see.
And Snapcaster.
Snapcaster.
So those are the 4 cards he's seen this turn.
Still not what you want to see there. No way to get rid of these cards on the top. We're going to see Anthony be Brainstorm locked here. Wasteland already in play to deal with that second land.
Yeah, we'll have a Thoughtseize, though.
True. Les reveals Sword of Fire and Ice, Dark Confidant, Thoughtseize, and
Stoneforge Mystic. Interesting.
So, probably not Pox. Probably some sort of blade deck, either Esper or... Black-white. I don't know. Black-white Death and Taxes.
Like a Dead Guy Ale? I don't think does Dead Guy Ale usually play Stoneforge? I don't think they do.
Dark. Yeah. Junk. Maybe. Dead Guy.
Yeah. Riley Cold, I can definitely play some Blue Red Delver. Maybe that's what I'll do on Tuesday. I'll run that stip for you.
So,
if you want to send me a new list, then do. If you feel like my list isn't what you want it to be. Okay. Dark Confidant comes down. Now, we know that there is no red mana source there or coming, right?
Sure.
Stoneforge Ale.
And here comes an edict. And Les knew about that edict, which I'm not really sure if I would run that out. But Les seems okay with the follow-up here of Death Right.
It's going to get forced.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely have to force that.
I actually think that Les is still in a spot where Wasteland looks good.
I agree.
Yeah, you didn't see him play a land? Definitely.
Yeah.
Take them off. Take them off of playing anything.
For sure.
Yeah, nothing. Okay, so here's a Marsh Flats.
That's huge for Les.
Shriekmaw and Hero of Bladehold. Oh man, with a plan, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. I would love to see some Hero of Bladehold in Legacy.
Pretty good.
That card is incredible. I can't imagine a lot of board states where that card just doesn't win if left alone. I mean, I guess there are a lot of cards like that, but Anthony's got to be happy that he at least has this island. Sure. Like he doesn't know that there's not more wastelands just chilling in Les's hand.
Yep. Well, he does kind of know that off of the Thoughtseize, but regardless, it's better to have one. And if you have to have a basic land in play, Island's probably the one I'd go for. So,
Hero and Shriekmaw dead guy. Interesting. That's awesome. DRS is that busted. Proof right there. Was that the busted card, or was Force of Will the busted card? I'm confused.
Takes one to know one.
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure that they were on a pretty similar level there. Lightning Bolt. Okay, so we do see a Badlands come down. Lightning Bolt's gonna take care of Stoneforge Mystic. And new Stoneforge Mystic.
Off the top.
Look at that. Those.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
and on board.
It's in play.
Love the mismatch here.
Old school, new school.
Yep.
It's all good.
Now we've got a sword, a Jitte, and did he get Batterskull with the last one? He just has all three of them in his hand.
I believe so.
Baleful Strix. Well, Baleful Strix is not a removal spell, which means we're gonna get some things in play here. Do I have the Grixis control list from last time? I could stream a Grixis control list. Why don't you throw me a Whisper, Riley Cold? I'll get to it. Maybe we can play that on Moto on Tuesday, or Thursday or Friday, whatever one you want.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and untap. And Anthony's just looking for lands, right? Like there's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We see a hymn that's uncastable for Anthony. We see
a Snapcaster,
which just
not
needs
doing
more
anything.
mana.
Yep. Batterskull in.
Yeah, and if we can get a sword equipped, that bird is not going to be able to block.
No. He's just going to attack.
Yeah.
This is an easy block for Anthony. I can't imagine a world where you don't just go, okay,
sure.
Yeah, you don't even have the mana to bounce it back to your hand yet.
And Anthony just takes it.
Does not block.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah, no further plays from Les, just planning on getting another equipment into play.
Yeah.
All right, Ponder. Ponder's a way that Anthony can get back into this.
Ponder's a big start.
What's that germ carrying? A Batterskull, of course. The actual token is holding a Batterskull.
In response to Ponder, put the sword into play.
I'm not entirely sure what this is doing. Oh, there is a Kess on top. There's a Snapcaster, a Kess, and can you see what that third card is?
I cannot.
This one. Yeah.
And yeah, that's enough for Anthony.
Wow, he just looks at those top three and goes, I'm screwed for the next 3 turns. Yeah, that's not gonna do.
Okay.
So less on his let's call it the lucky Chrome Mox.
Sure. Yeah.
Just getting there.
Chrome Mox that could.
Yeah. All right. It looks like our other match is also sideboarding. So I guess we'll just stay here. Maybe if Jorgensen's lucky, he'll get to see some pile shuffling. And he's not even here. I bet he's watching the Pro Tour. What a jerk.
It's not even live.
I know, it's a rerun. What the heck? Good to see you guys though. Good to see you guys.
Thanks for hanging out on this wonderful
glad
Friday.
Some people finally decided to join chat. Give us something to talk about. What is the other match? I know Paul is there and he's playing lands. No, not you, Paul. The other Paul.
Noah versus Jeff.
Noah. No, it's not Paul. Never mind. Noah, I think, is on Miracles, and now that I'm looking, I can see his deck right now.
You're thinking Miracles versus
either
D&T or
Maverick. Those are the decks that Jeff typically plays. So Miracles versus. Sorry, I'm trying to see. I think I saw Kasali Pride Mage. I think this is Maverick. Miracles versus Maverick, and then we've got our 4-color versus this black-white blade. I'm kind of digging what Les is playing right now.
Yeah.
This black-white Stone Forge with Dark Confidant. Just don't flip Batter Skulls to Dark Confidant, and you're good, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Thank goodness they didn't put in something like Elbrus the Binding Blade or like some like 7-8 mana equipment. It's fine. Stoneforge will get it before it flips to Dark Confidant.
There were definitely the days where people would play not Death Ray. People would play Dark Confidant and play Tombstalker in the same deck.
Yep.
And then say, well, if I flip it, I flip it.
I have played Jund with a 1 of Tassiger.
Yeah.
Multiple times. So and I only flipped Tassiger 2 times. Conveniently, both times against Infect. Conveniently. You've seen Black White Blade before? It's still such a cool deck though. It's just, I don't know, just it's up my alley. You guys know this.
It has just kind of a different feel.
It does have a different feel. I've played the Esper Deathblade deck a couple times. I really like it. It's called D&T without the black. Did you know the Black White Blade without black is just D&T?
Apparently.
So is this called D&T plus black? Plus Bob?
Dark D&T.
Dark D&T? The darkness. Okay, looks like these guys are about finished up. Our other match is like right where these guys are.
Right on time, yeah.
Yeah, kind of funny. Actually, I want to pay attention and see who goes first so I know who got the first game. Not sure, let's see. He doesn't use the taxing. No, nobody needs to tax.
Nope.
Yet another deck name that's like way out of none of those cards are even in the deck anymore.
Yeah.
I had to laugh. So I was watching Caleb Durward's stream last night because he was playing Nyx Fit. He was playing kind of a slightly different Nyx Fit than the one that I 5-0'd with, and
sure, he had like ley lines in the board with Helm and the main deck looked pretty similar, but no Garrett.
All the people who watch him are mostly standard and modern people, or like limited. People who like to watch limited. Legacy is kind of like the last thing, so most people don't know Legacy very well. and people kept chiming into the chat and like, hey, what is this deck? You know, what is this deck? And he kept calling it Rector Fit, and like it just like hurt. I was just like, it's called Nyx Fit. Like it's just, it already had a name. Why are you giving it a new name? Oh man.
All right, so opening hands being drawn for Les and Anthony.
Jeff is playing Maverick, so it's Maverick versus Miracles on the backup match. Okay, what do we got? Another Chrome Mox. Starting off with that Chrome Mox. Getting rid of. Oh, just kidding. This is an Abzan deck.
Wow. Okay.
Abzan Blade? What do we call it? Is this
another?
I actually don't know what to call this.
Here comes him.
I don't know what to call this.
Abzan D&T.
Post side Abzan.
Post side Abzan. Abzan, good stuff.
Abzan.
Abs. And.
I don't know what to call it. Like
right.
it has a couple things that are very Maverick like, you know, like
sure.
The whole Stoneforge package. I mean that is Maverick, right? Like Maverick has that.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, we're seeing a much stronger devotion to black. Hymn to Torok, Dark Confidant. Yeah, we didn't even see the Bayou last game. Like,
no.
We didn't even see any green.
We saw a white and a black. That's it.
Scrubland was the only land that tapped for color.
Abzan Pile.
Abzan Pile. There you go, Natalia.
All right. Brainstorm in response to this. Him gonna hide a couple cards.
Seems like a good plan. This game doesn't even look all that different from the last one. Like the same basic island on turn 1.
Well, you know, it's a good one.
Yeah, he fetched for it this time.
Yeah,
he did. It is very pretty.
3-color control.
3-color control. I like it. Next thing you know, I'm just gonna like play a 2-color deck and people are gonna go, what is that deck? It's two color mid range.
Yeah,
and people are gonna be like, what 2 colors?
You know, 2-color.
2-color.
Yeah.
What else do you need to know? I just told you what my deck is.
All right, so him looks to be resolving.
Three, 4, 5, and 6. Perfect for a D6. 5.
5 and
probably 6 is a reroll.
2.
So. A Badlands and a Collective Brutality.
Okay.
Those are the cards that were discarded to him.
And
a surgical.
Targeting Brainstorm would be my guess. And here we see a hand of Leovold, True Name, Ponder, and Fetchland.
Brainstorm.
That's a pretty aggressive surgical.
Very. In fact, why surgical?
I don't know why you would bring surgical in this matchup. And it's kind of cute that you get to get the cards that were on top shuffled back in with that Brainstorm, but it is card disadvantage.
No, I understand, Minifer. Don't worry. I mean, this is a topic that I think a lot of people talk about, right?
Yeah.
It's like, when does surgical come in? Let me tell you when it comes in. Against decks that need something, like you want to actually kill them with the surgical. Make it so they can't do anything else.
Yeah.
it breaks up combos.
Yeah.
This 4-color deck, it doesn't have Brainstorm. It still has Ponder. Still has all the other things that kill you.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why Surgical came in. Maybe he didn't see enough last game to feel like he knew what was going on.
Could be.
Maybe.
Maybe he felt it could still be kind of a bit more combo-ish, but I'm having a hard time getting behind the justification for it. And imagine, like, I don't know what Les took out in this matchup, but imagine that's any other card that could be a card.
Whoa, Minifer, hey, there's only one person who has that in their job description, and that is me. All right, after this tournament, I will make sure that is done. You don't need to take that. You don't need to do that personally. I got you. I don't know what he could have thought he was on, you know? Minifer, thank you so much for the subscription. New hero in our midst. Love it.
Thanks for being a hero, Minifer.
Slap less for me, please. You sub. It's done. Les is a close friend of mine. He'll understand. He'll understand.
Death right coming down.
Oh, thank you so much.
And third land here for Anthony is going to be a big one. That's going to turn on the ability to play both Leovold and True Name. Less sitting with only 2 cards in hand.
Minifer subbed, yeah.
And I think if you're Anthony, you just want to get out that Leovold, right?
Yeah, definitely. See, this is what happens, Riley Cold. Like, I'm like, hey, I got your back, and then Minifer's like, well, I got your back too. He didn't actually say that, but he subbed, so it's like the same thing. For the slap.
For the slap.
That's all about the slap. Surgical extraction tilted you into giving us your Amazon fun bucks.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it. You can spend that anywhere, and you spent it here. That is fantastic. Slapsgiving. Oh, Slapsgiving. Oh.
Wow. Hard cast Batter Skull. Coming in on Les's side.
Slapsgiving is a really important holiday, all right? It's where we all get together to give slaps. This is a quote. This is a quote. This isn't just me spouting off randomness.
Oh.
This is a How I Met Your Mother thing. Just let it.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Okay. Just let it go. Everything is good.
So we see Edict in hand for Anthony. He's going to ponder here, and Les knocking the top of his deck.
Minifer, fantastic. On my backup match, I actually have it written out miracles. I'm being real. Even if our deck choices are questionable. Yeah, well, I don't know if that's ever gonna change. But with Seattle coming up, I'm gonna need to decide on a deck to play here pretty soon. So you can expect me to actually start playing a couple of more competitive legacy decks, especially over the next month.
Ooh, Colligan's Command. Kill your Batter Skull and kill your Deathrite. Bye-bye, James. Wow.
Cheerios for Seattle? Oh, the filthy pleb. No. I wish I could keep a straight face and tell you yes, but I cannot tell you that.
Kind of surprised not to see an attack from Leovold last turn.
Yeah, he probably forgot.
Here it is this turn coming in, though, and True Name entering the battlefield as well.
You just turned 3 Jace me both games. It happens, especially when I'm playing Nick's Fit. Yeah, this does not look like a game that Les can win.
Yeah, Les has drawn quite a few lands here, and here comes the Thoughtseize.
Looks like he missed his trigger on Leovold from that Thoughtseize.
Yeah. Oh, now he's kind of going. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
All right. So Diabolic Edict taken out. Now, I wonder if Les has Toxic Deluge. If I'm Les, that's the card I'm looking for, and it's
this turn or bust.
That or nothing.
All right. Well, game 2 goes to Anthony, which means we'll see a game 3.
Right, we do have quite a few missed Leovold triggers. It's probably because most people are used to playing online.
Leovold's
just does it for them.
It just has abilities for days. How can you keep track of them all?
You can't.
You can't.
You can't.
You can't keep track of them all.
You actually can't. All right, so let's take a look at our backup match here. Jeff is at 16 life, Noah at 12. We see 2 Deathrite Shamans on Jeff's side, as well as a Dryad Arbor and a Stoneforge Mystic. There is a Batterskull in the graveyard. And then we've got a Snapcaster Mage, and it looks like they're pretty even on cards. Is 4-color control tier 1 in Legacy? Yes. Absolutely. The deck is fantastic.
Down comes Gaddock-Teeg. And that's a pretty big one if that one can stick in play.
No Terminus.
No Terminus.
No Jace.
No Jace.
Mm-hmm. Another one that it could kind of get is oh my goodness, the name is slipping my mind right now. It's the X and 2 white spell.
Yeah.
I can't think of the name right now. Chat'll help me. X and 2 white. Unexpectedly Absent. Thank you. That is the card I was thinking of. Yeah, so they can't cast Unexpectedly Absent.
Sure.
They also can't cast Entreat the Angels.
Yep.
There are definitely relevant things that Gaddock-Teeg's going to shut down, and it's not going to hurt Jeff a lot at all.
Sure. Jeff getting in there for mediocre beats. 4 damage off of 3 Squires and a 1/1.
That is true. 4-color doesn't have a lot of big legacy finishes, but I still say that it's one of the best decks in the format.
If you look online, it's still putting up decent results.
What would I say that it was absent from my mind?
Unexpectedly.
Unexpectedly?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absent.
Yeah.
Emo pizza. Go Maverick. Come on.
You know, we should have named Les's deck.
What?
Unexpectedly Abzan.
Oh man, that would be fantastic. All right, I'm switching it over right now. Looks like they've actually already started, so let's watch their game 3 while I switch Les's deck name to Unexpectedly Absent.
Unexpectedly Abzan.
Oh, he doesn't have Unexpectedly Absent though.
No, but we did not expect that he was on Absent.
There's no Unexpectedly Absent in the deck, but still. Brazil Nationals had more Deathrite Shaman than Brainstorm. Wow, that's incredible. In 2017, okay. Wow.
So here comes a Stoneforge Mystic that's being Force of Willed.
He may not have Absent, but he has Surgical Extraction.
ZD Brick, thanks for the follow.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Anthony's lands are just amazing. Can I just say, they're fantastic.
All right. Yeah, Anthony's basics are definitely on point.
Yeah, I think Minifer, that's a great point. No, it's just a great deck. You just any deck that you play better than most people, that's the kind of deck that you want to, that is proven in one way or another. I'd say is a good deck to take to a GP.
I'd agree with that. And second Stoneforge coming in here for less. This one does resolve, it looks like.
Yeah, this is important. Now, we do see a way to kill Stoneforge Mystic slash
less shortcutting a little bit, doing
Yeah.
both his fetches at the same time here.
Now, Abrupt Decay is in Anthony's hand, but we don't see any more mana. Just kind of chilling on these two basics, which...
Yeah, and Anthony's been really cautious about playing around Wasteland. And
probably too cautious. I mean...
I would agree.
He hasn't found other land at all, so
Yeah.
maybe it's fine now, but man, these basics are not doing him a whole lot of favors. Oh, he does have another fetch. Okay.
Even with another fetch, it really hinders his ability to be mana efficient every single turn. It's gonna really kind of hinder him later on. Once he gets up to 4 mana, he's gonna have to kind of do jump through a couple hoops in order to make his mana work for him. So here we see less untap. And it's definitely a spot you want to be in. Untapped with the Stoneforge in play, 4 land to work with. And let's see what he can muster. So thinking it through a little bit. So if you're less, you got blown out last game by Colgan's command.
Yes.
That's got to be on your mind if this is what you have in play at the moment.
Well, absolutely. Anytime you're going to see a card like that come down and just wreck you, yeah, you're going to have it on your mind. But you also can't play the game run scared. Especially in this spot where like Anthony is clearly having issues getting things going.
Now it all comes together.
You wanna know what's funny though? The surgical extraction is just as good to discard to a Colgan's command as pretty much like any other card.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's just as good as at getting discarded, I should say.
It definitely is.
I think surgical extraction is strictly worse than land in Les's deck in this matchup. That's not funny. Oh, sorry.
All right, Deathrite coming down after a ponder on Anthony's side, passes back to Les. Les goes to activate Stoneforge Mystic. Oh, excuse me, casting Abrupt Decay. Abrupt Decay targeting that Deathrite.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'd say we're going to see an activation of that Stoneforge.
So we know he has Jitte. I'm not sure about any others that he has, but I also know that Anthony has an Abrupt Decay.
Sure.
Maybe the reason he isn't killing Stoneforge, that he can kill this.
Yeah. Just shortcutted there, and Anthony says, "Nope, hold on, I've got stuff to do."
Yeah, tap all the stuff.
Yeah.
You're not untapping yet. I got stuff to do, man.
Yeah.
Getting that red source.
Oh, thinking about
it. Just needs to be a black or a green land.
And Les has already played 4 lands out already. I feel like it's fine to get a red source here. You don't need to worry about Wasteland here. You've already got a non-basic in play. Anthony opts to keep red in his deck, though. Here we see an Abrupt Decay coming in. And we're just going to finish shuffle cuts. Oh, and it should be Les's turn.
Yeah, perhaps the Duke. Perhaps. That's probably is what he was thinking. Is like, okay, if he gets Badlands, then if Les comes in, Wasteland's a green source, Leovold's just not an option. Yep. But here's a Thoughtseize, and this is a huge Thoughtseize. We get to see Leovold and True Name Nemesis, and Les is probably looking at this going, oh man, here's the jackpot.
Yeah.
Like, these are two super important things. He's got to figure that this Leovold's a little easier to answer than True Name Nemesis, so that'll be the take. Lingering Souls.
And, yeah.
Yeah, it was strange. He did not need to cast Abrupt Decay. I agree, Jesse. He could have waited, let Les equip the Jitte to something, and got the Jitte there. Yeah, it's uncounterable.
Sure.
Not something you're gonna interact with in that way.
So down comes Leovold.
Counter.
And these Lingering Souls are gonna be putting in some work here.
Yes. And what is the card that he drew? I can't quite see.
Swords. Targeting Leovold.
Yep.
We're going to see a card draw due to Leovold's ability. And
looks like a Missy Rainforest. Not exactly what Anthony wants to see, but digging one card deeper is definitely relevant.
That's going to be exiled.
He gains 3 life. This does change the clock, but I would imagine that we're going to see an attack from all 3 creatures here.
Depends on what that last card... It's a Liliana. Yeah, so we're definitely going to see an attack from all 3 creatures here. Les just going to clear the board. Likely. Could tick up to get rid of the card in hand, but board is more important here. In for 3. Pass his turn.
I'm not sure I would have minused.
There's definitely an argument to be made for going after the hand and just attacking in. If you were going to make that line, I think it makes sense to attack first.
Yes. Yeah, the way that he played it, it does make sense to kill the creature. I agree. We see a fatal... Okay, this is a Deathrite Shaman. And a fatal push. Yeah, and this Deathrite Shaman is going to be a little late taking care of this Lingering Souls in the graveyard.
Sure. Just kind of a turn too late. Liliana is also going to be able to plus here. Les places land. And that's going to allow it to be in range to downtick and deal with another creature if necessary.
What the heck?
Les just passing back without casting Lingering Souls. I wonder if he forgot about it. There's no way that you should leave this in your graveyard with a Deathrite becoming active.
What in the... Why in the world would you not flashback?
He had to forget. Like, that's the only reason you would...
You're right. That is the only possible reason why.
Wow. And that's huge here. Let's see if Anthony catches it.
Snapcaster, Brainstorm, Snapcaster.
Wow.
This is
wow.
A very powerful 3 cards.
Those are 3 cards right there.
Yeah, but it's not just that he forgot Souls. He forgot Souls and now he's going to lose it.
Well, he might not. If Anthony goes for Snapcaster Abrupt Decay on the Liliana, something along that line, Les might get an opportunity to fix his mistake. But not if there's... Man. This game just got a little weird.
Yeah.
So
Les was in a position where I felt like losing was going to be very difficult, and now he's in a position where losing is something like right around the corner.
Right, Jesse. There's always the chance that Anthony doesn't realize it as well and forgets as well.
Yeah, you were right. Snapcaster, Abrupt Decay. This might be Anthony also saying, "Wow, if he forgot about it once, he could forget about it twice."
Right, and it looks like that's not going to be the case here. Yep, we see that Lingering Souls quickly getting
wow
ready to play, but wow, such an unnecessary risk on Les's part there, and does good to mitigate any further mistakes. So
yeah,
kind of an interesting thing. Man, what a weird position. So here we see a Brainstorm, Snapcaster, Ponder, and I couldn't quite catch that third card.
Looks to be a black card. Oh man, if it's like a Toxic Deluge or Marsh Casualties, kind of looks like Marsh Casualties. He's putting it on the top. He's thinking Ponder into Marsh Casualties. I can't actually tell if it's Marsh Casualties, but if it is, this is going to end the game.
That would be a pretty big play.
I think that's what it is. Or is it a Collective Brutality? Okay, maybe it's a Collective Brutality.
Could be a Collective Brutality.
Yeah, it looks like Collective Brutality.
Collective Brutality still
not nearly as good. Not nearly as good as Marsh Casualties. Okay.
Not win on the spot. Anthony opting to ponder.
Pondering to ponder.
Yeah.
Opt is a completely different card. Come on.
Fair enough. Pondering to ponder. We see Underground Sea and the two cards we knew about already.
Snapcaster and Collective Brutality. Yeah, Anthony may not be as in as good of a spot as we may have thought. An attack for 2. See, I don't think I would have blocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I don't like that block at all.
Interesting spot there. I'm not sure I would have blocked. Deathrite on Les's side. In for 3. Yeah.
This is putting Anthony down to 5. This attack.
Les would have been pretty far ahead in the race, even with the creatures currently in the graveyard. With 4 creatures, with 4 spirits attacking.
We're exiling a land, or no, this is Stoneforge Mystic to gain 2 life. Okay, so this is leaving Anthony at 7 life. I know that the die is kind of off the table, but he is at 7.
Yeah, exactly. The Duke could have pushed 3 more damage if he remembered that Souls and didn't block.
Exactly.
Yeah. So here comes Brutality for 2 modes. -2/-2 to your Deathrite, and you lose 2 life. I gain 2 life.
Yeah, and Anthony is very much racing.
Sure.
Or at least keeping up, right? Another land from Les.
In for 3 again, and another activation. So effectively 1 damage coming across.
And Les still draws nothing.
Anthony not really drawing much now either. That's what it looks like. Although you have to favor Anthony in a top deck war.
Yeah, I mean this Snapcaster can get back a Brainstorm or
even just a brutality here. And if you're Anthony, I think if Brutality is your mode, you have to go after a creature. It's going to save you more damage in the long run. And it's going to allow you to start maybe getting a bit more aggressive yourself. Now Deathrite is able to effectively stop the damage, and we see Les come across only for 1 this time. Deathrite activating for damage this time, using all of Anthony's mana.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. The Stoneforge deck might have better top decks in general, but Anthony has much more control over his top decks.
Him taking away Les's hand.
Chromox and Thoughtseize were the cards in his hand. Definitely both pointless from this point.
Sure. Yeah. Anthony just passes back, says, I've got your 2 points of damage covered, so...
I mean, he has to look at Les's graveyard, or Anthony's graveyard, sorry.
Now, here's a position where Anthony's mana, fetching those basics early, is kind of coming back to bite him. He does not have the ability here, having cast him, to both have black and green mana up on this turn. So if Les doesn't attack, or Anthony feels he's in a better position to race, he's not able to drain, or not drain, but reduce Les's life total by 2.
Yeah.
And here's that surgical doing not a lot right here.
And by not a lot, we mean actually nothing. It's doing nothing. I think a land actually might have been better.
And are we seeing a Deathrite activation on the target in response?
Yeah.
Looks to be that way. So, surgical fizzling. Anthony gets to use his Deathrite effectively for the turn. And Anthony passes turn.
Yeah, that's like the only thing that surgical can really do. Okay, now Dark Confidant's huge.
That's a pretty good draw.
He doesn't have a lot of life to work with, but oh, Anthony choosing to gain life. We are at time in the round. I'm not sure why our timer is still doing that, or at least close to time in the round.
Anthony plays a Baleful Strix, and then another Deathrite. And, you know, Dark Confidant here, while drawing less extra cards, he is at 10. We see him flip a surgical, second surgical. And so he'll go down to 9. Draw for the turn looks to be Stoneforge Mystic.
Is Chromox a popular choice in a 4-color Stoneforge deck? Not typically. This is not a Stoneforge deck that I'm used to seeing the Duke. Not only that, but most Stoneforge decks only have green in there to activate their Deathrite Shaman. Usually they're Esper or just blue white. There are also Jeskai versions, but Abzan usually is considered Maverick, which only plays a couple of Stoneforges instead of a full play set. Yeah, it's kind of Dead Guy L with a green splash. You're right. Sword of Fire and Ice does seem like the card that would impact the board the most. He needs to get Deathrite Shamans off the board and very quickly.
Sure. And being able to equip to a spirit would be able to get through.
Nope. He goes for Batterskull.
Interesting.
With Strix on the board, I'm not a fan of Batterskull. He could be doing this just because he feels like having it in his deck is a risk for Deathrite. Or
he could also
Bob.
feel pressured with Bob that the life loss might be enough to get him down into range where he feels life gain's more important.
Yeah.
But
I don't even know that he's going to have enough time to play it.
Yeah, that is the question.
Does he even have an attack? I mean, maybe he didn't even have an attack no matter what.
It's kind of a rough attack either way. Ironically, going back to your surgical would be better as a land. If he did have a land, he would have been able to play either batter skull or cast and equip on the sword.
Yep. Actually, just better. Okay, reveals land. That's a lucky hit.
Mm-hmm. And we do see Sword of Fire and Ice in hand for less now.
Okay.
So let's see what happens here. The other question is, with less down to 7 life and 2 death rights in play, it's pretty close to not mattering. Less can't really afford to crack that fetch.
I mean, hold on. He could play equip. Okay, Sword of Fire and Ice.
Sure.
Throw it on a spirit.
Sure.
Hit through, kill one of the Deathrite Shamans.
Okay,
right?
In response, Deathrite activates.
Yes. He's going down to a virtual 3, right?
Yeah.
But he also, if he cracks fetch, he goes down to 2 and is able to put in Batter Skull.
But the second Deathrite,
and then the second Deathrite there
kills him. So,
yep, this is not a good spot for him. Because that's the only line that I see. You have to try to kill these Deathrites, right? But
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana, 6 mana effectively, and okay. So let's say you play equip.
Okay.
You attack in.
No, EW Landon. I agree. Yeah, I think that's the line.
You could do that. You could also, yeah, that's probably the line that you have to go for.
I think you have to.
Yeah.
So EW Landon says you use Stoneforge Mystic to get Batter Skull into play. You crack your fetch. You go down to 6. You equip Batter Skull to a flyer or anything. Probably Dark Confidant, honestly, and attack for 6 lifelink. But
so if Les is making this line, he should have left open. Oh, he did leave open. Okay. He can't. No. If he left open a black mana that was not Verdant Catacombs, he would be able to surgical in response, surgical his own spell that gets death-righted, and effectively gain 2 life as well.
No, he has 2 black mana. He has a Bayou and a Swamp, Jesse.
Yeah. Okay, less down to 3.
Okay, so if he does this line, the next turn would he if he draws a non-fetch land?
Yes, if he draws
a non-fetch land, then he could potentially flash in. Okay.
Play equip Batter Skull to the sorted up creature and stabilize, assuming that a couple of things go right. First, Dark Confidant has to whiff on any spell.
Well, okay. If he passes, if Anthony passes the turn, couldn't Les just attack again with a spirit and kill the other Deathrite Shaman and go to 1? I don't think he's dead yet.
This Dark Confidant might determine the game.
Yes.
Less at 1 life. And an attack here would be not not a winning move. If that Snapcaster comes in, that's a snap block by Les.
Blocking with Dark Confidant?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Flips to 0. And we hear an audible yeah from Les.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, and that should allow him, if we know that he has the surgical in hand, he's able to use that Chrome Mox to get the mana in order to play and equip Batter Skull onto that token.
And that should be lethal.
And that should be lethal
I think
win the game.
I think Anthony is at 7.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't need to burn his own Bob with Sword. So he gets to Chrome Mox, get another mana. He doesn't need to use his fetch. He can...
Wasteland does it too.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. Pay 2, activate Stoneforge, get Batterskull into play.
Yep, here we go. Pay 2. Equip.
Pay 5.
Onto sorted up creature. Attack in. And
it has vigilance. That's it.
That's it. And
all right, let's take this one.
Anthony can't believe it.
Oh,
I'm not
wow.
sure I can believe it either.
Yeah, that was...
What a game.
What the heck is this Abzan?
My legacy.
I don't know. It's some Stoneforge, Dark Confidant. It's kind of Dead Gael with like a splash of green. I don't know. We didn't really know what to call it, so we just called it Abzan. No, okay. So yes, he could have taken life, thrown Batterskull onto Dark Confidant, right?
Yes.
And started gaining some life that way. He could have. But the line was similar to get Sword on, kill a Deathrite Shaman, never fetch.
Yeah.
And next turn just attack again, kill the other Deathrite Shaman, go to 1, and hope Bob doesn't kill you. Or hope to find a removal spell in that one draw step that you have to take care. Well, yeah, Bob.
Dark Confidant's flavor text is greatness at any cost. And I think we saw it just as advertised right there.
It cost him some close calls.
Yeah.
All right. So we get to gear up for round 3 here. Man, oh man, what a match!
What a match! What a game! Wow,
that was crazy. It is nice to see that there were at least like a couple different lines to take. Still not sure what the surgical extractions are doing in the deck. If I had to guess, the only thing I can even see that as is it's almost like a stifle, where like, but only for Snapcaster Mage, Like, it only interacts with what? Colligan's Command, Snapcaster Mage,
and at the end there, we could have seen it as a gain 2 life off of a Deathrite. Like, if you had the black mana open, you could definitely get it going. So, really only like minor interactions with any of the cards that the 4-color deck was putting out.
Yep.
At best.
All right, looks like next round is going up. We've already got our
pairings.
Oh, whoops. That's 28. There we go. So we've got Steven Davis, who is on Grixis Delver versus Corey. I think that's the one that we're going to watch. And then we've got Paul on Lands versus Jeff on Maverick.
Okay.
So that'll be our backup match.
Cool.
Wait for people to get seated here, and then we can get started. But man, oh man, Les isn't even on the top table. Crazy,
man.
Where's all the combo? No idea. No idea. Not a lot of combo around here.
Not much in the room tonight. You know,
perfect for my Punishing Jund deck.
Yeah. Haven't seen a lot of Sneak and Show.
Nope.
Haven't seen a lot of Storm. Haven't seen a lot of Turbo Depths or anything like that.
We absolutely have players in our store that play some of the decks that Matt just mentioned, but we haven't seen them in a while.
Not Not today.
Not, or at least not today.
Yeah. No food chain.
No food chain.
Brian.
Brian. Hey Brian, why is there no food chain? No Brian Bomberman.
Yeah. Okay, the Duke.
Sounds good, the Duke. That's awesome. Yeah, sneak and show. We definitely have a couple people who have the deck. They prefer to play other things.
Mm-hmm.
No sneak and show. Jesse, you play sneak and show. What the heck? I know you. You can't hide. No, sneak and show is a really powerful deck. Not the most entertaining deck to watch, that's for sure, but powerful nonetheless.
All right, looks like players are sitting down and getting shuffled up.
Let me get some things labeled.
It's the superior Eldrazi deck.
I'm not sure what Corey's on today. I know that he plays 4-color. I know that he plays Soldier Stompy. We've seen him play that before. That would be sweet if he's 2-0 with that. We were going to watch Corey versus Bryce, but then they had to repair, I guess. So we didn't get to see what Corey was actually playing. All right, we're going to see some opening hands.
All right. And Corey plays Deathrite Go off of an Underground Sea. Steven also plays Deathrite Go. In the truest of mirrors, fetching up a Underground Sea.
Deathrite's not a big deal.
No.
Whatever.
So we see Leovold in Corey's hand. And a Tropical Island, it looks like an Abrupt Decay as well.
Not sure what you're talking about, Riley.
Deathrite Shaman, the 1-mana Planeswalker. Best Squire printed so far. Ooh, so Kulligan's Command.
2 damage.
Take out the opposing Deathrite.
What's the other mode? We haven't. Oh,
And
discard a
discard.
card. Okay. Gurmag Angler is the chosen card there.
So it must be 4-color.
Gotta be putting him on 4-color. Apocalypse Con Wedges. I don't know. I didn't say anything. Why would we talk about something so silly anyway?
Blue
Eh.
Delta Crack.
A name is a name. Who cares?
As long as we
Just-
all know what we're
It's
talking
just there
about.
for identification.
And bolt your Deathrite.
1-mana Planeswalkers don't last that long.
Apparently not.
No loyalty. Just don't have enough loyalty. Maybe if more people would play Tibalt, then maybe this world would be a little better.
Just walk away. Just walk away. Planes walk away.
Just Planeswalk away. Man, I want to see somebody bring Tibalt to one of these events.
Tibalt would be interesting.
Card is absolutely awful, but it deserves a chance. I guess.
So third land for Corey. If I'm Corey, probably thinking about trying to slam a Leovold here. We'll see what else he has in his hand if he's got something else that makes that a little bit better. Could possibly be thinking about playing around days, could be thinking about landing another threat, but here comes that Leovold down. Test out the waters. I think that's going to resolve.
Yeah, that's not a good sign for Steven. True Name Nemesis is the answer, and this is definitely powerful. However, it's still not getting him to a point where he can cast his cantrips. Corey doesn't need to be attacking to feel like Leovold's doing work.
Yeah. And Corey with plenty of cantrips of his own, speaking of. We're going to see Brainstorm here.
Corey going, look what I can do.
We know he's got a Ponder as well. We'll see if he plays that one too.
This is what it feels like.
Tybalt Reanimator? That'd be kind of interesting.
Oh, the Duke, that'd be amazing. if somebody tried to make Tybalt as good as they could possibly get it, sent me a list, I'd consider trying it in the league. I'd consider it. It'd be awful. But I've played awful things before, so that card's not even good in any format, nonetheless. Legacy.
Down comes fetch land for Corey. And before fetching, it looks like we're going to have Thoughtseize.
Yeah, this is strong. We see Brainstorm that does nothing. Spell Pierce that's not doing a ton. And a Young Pyromancer. If I'm Corey, that's my take.
Yeah.
I'm not taking Brainstorm while while Leovold's on the board. And Young Pyromancer is the card that seems the most annoying. But looks like he wants to get something resolved here, and I did glimpse a Jace the Mind Sculptor in Corey's hand. He's probably looking to resolve that this next turn, and Thoughtseize is his best way to get that into play.
Interesting.
Tybalt Dredge Madness Reanimator. Jesse, I don't. all those words are great words. We just need a deck. We just need a deck. That's it.
We just have a deck. 4 words right there.
I just clicked on Riley Cold's link. Oh man, that is comical.
Corey with Ponder.
Needs more Library of Lang. Oh man. Call it Tybalt the Mad Reanimator.
And Corey looking at a couple more lands here. I wouldn't be too surprised to see a shuffle. Decides to keep it. That last card must have been good enough.
Yeah, I'm sure the next land will be a fetch. He's fine taking one land here and then shuffling the other.
Young Pyro enters play. True Name in for 3.
Now I have to. I still need a list. Riley Colt just sent me what he could find, and it was
0 results.
0 results. It would be fun, Jesse. Maybe we could brew it up sometime.
So down comes 5th land. I have to say I'm not sure I'd be terribly comfortable playing a Jace out at the moment. Here comes Snapcaster. And Snapcaster targeting Culligan's Command. Culligan's Command targeting Young Pyro and rebuying something? Or possibly hitting... Yeah,
be rebuying
looks like he pointed towards that Deathrite.
I'll be rolling a lot of dice. Man, I've played it in an EDH deck before. Trust me on this one. It will take the best card in your hand. There's no reason to roll a dice. Just be like, trust me, opponent. This is my best card. proceed to put it into the graveyard. That's how Tibalt works.
All right, so we're going to see Brainstorm for no benefit. Just a 1/1 token. Oh.
Yeah,
he's gonna look,
both
at,
go back.
Draw one card. Put it back.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, Riley Colvick, this one's just not going to work. Against the odds, burning Tibalt.
Oh boy.
Oh man. All right, I'll take a look at that one in a little bit.
Oh boy.
Thanks for sending that over.
All right, so 1/1 Elemental, True Name versus Leovold and Snapcaster. We know Jace still in hand for Corey. Fetch land is the draw. Here comes Jace. Jace minuses to get rid of that token. We see Deathrite come into play. Corey in for 5. And this seems like a kind of a waste of a Jace, if you ask me. Yeah, you get the token off and maybe it gains you 3 life, but you're already winning the race pretty handily. Like, I'd almost rather see the Jace tick up to 5. Either targeting Steven or Corey. I'm not really sure which one it should be here. Probably just Corey. And just kind of use it as a scry effect.
4 mana unsummon. That's right. It might eat 3 damage here.
Yeah,
which is worth mentioning.
So 4 mana unsummon plus healing salve.
There you go. Kill token, gain 3 life.
Unsummon healing salve.
That doesn't sound
4
like
mana.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like something for 4 mana in
Sorcery
Legacy.
speed.
Sorcery speed. You had to add that on. It already sounded bad. Our job was to make it sound bad, and it did.
It is a real thing versus True Name, but he's trading 5 damage plus a Deathrite activation per 3 damage. So
I mean, look at this board state though. Like Steven's not going to outrace from what we see here.
Yeah.
Deathrite Shaman alone can keep up with this. The second True Name Nemesis comes in, it's an extra 5 damage that Corey gets to attack with.
Sure.
I mean, where Steven's at 9, he may not attacking with Jace. Or not attacking the Jace.
Yeah, I suppose you could almost use it as a way to entice like Steven to attack, so you're getting in a little bit more and speeding the game up. But I don't know. Can't say as I'm sold.
Down to 9 goes Corey. He's gonna fetch, getting rid of these 2 cards that he just brainstormed with Jace. I couldn't see what he chose to keep, but there was a Force of Will, a Baleful Strix, and 2 lands. Yeah, he certainly isn't winning. Steven definitely is not winning the game by leaving Jace on the board.
True.
However, I don't think he was winning the game anyway. Grixis Delver needs more price of progress. What? Maybe they need more cast against them.
You know. Price would only deal 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 damage between both players.
It would end this game. You don't want to take 6 damage off of a punishment or a price of progress.
Steven with the card draw draws probe. And yep. Steven saying, "Oh yeah, Leopold still has text, and that's good enough for game 1." So
awesome.
Corey takes game 1, pretty convincingly there.
Yeah, I think so. All right, let's take a look at our backup match. Looks like they're just about to start game 1 or game 2. Sorry. There's a shuffle. Means Jeff's gonna be mulliganing here.
So lands versus Maverick. If you're Jeff, what kind of an opening hand are you looking to see here on the mole?
That's a good question. He needs Knight of the Reliquaries. If he can get his own Wasteland loop going, Paul's gonna have a hard time. But it looks like Jeff got game 1 because Paul seems to be on the play.
Sure. And a slower hand for Paul here, just starting with a Trinket into play tapped. Here comes an Exploration.
A little more explosive on turn 2.
Yeah.
Ghost Quarter and a Wasteland or a Thespian Stage. Those are the cards he's looking at.
Opts for Wasteland.
If it doesn't draw the game. Yeah, Price of Progress can absolutely draw the game.
You bet.
You see a Thespian Stage and a Dark Depths come down.
This could be a quick one here. We'll see.
There is a Swords to Plowshares in Jeff's hand, but
well,
yeah, he chooses not to
Ghost
go for
Quarter
it quite yet.
and 2 Wasteland should do a decent job of keeping Jeff off of white while that Dark Depths is in play.
Yeah.
Jeff doing a good job keeping those fetch lands around until he's ready. Trying to make Paul make the first move. Now, if Paul can find a dredge effect of some kind for a Life from the Loam, it's going to be pretty much lights out here. We're going to see some activations here. 2020 token coming into play. And yeah, so even being able to deal with this, the Life from the Loam is going to take over this game very quickly, especially with 2 explorations in play. These Wastelands and the ability to make it 2020 pretty much every turn is just going to overwhelm things.
If he has Surgical plus swords,
sure,
he could actually win this game.
But it kind of has to be right now.
It does. But here's Loam being cast, and he is responding to Loam. What does that tell you? He's got to have something. Surgical.
Yeah, there you go.
Surgical Dark Depths.
There you go. All right, so
Thespian Stage will go back to the hand, but
Jeff has found a way to kind of stabilize here, but unless he has something else as well, these Wastelands and Ghost Quarters are still going to be a problem.
They're going to be a problem, but there's also a chance that he draws out of it before before Paul gets things going with Punishing Fire. And if Punishing Fire ever did get going, or like, then he might be able to find another Surgical. There is a lot more game to be played than just this. That's for sure.
Jeff's almost pretty close to lock though. If he can keep just rebuying 2 or 3 wastelands a turn.
Yep, Wasteland's taking care of Bayou. Now our other match is probably going to get started up pretty soon, but I kind of want to see what happens here.
Yeah, I kind of want to see the finish over here.
So let's finish out this game. We'll jump back in for game 2 in a moment.
Certainly lots of swords in hand for Jeff. Looks like 3 swords to plowshares in hand.
Yeah, that'll do. He came ready for Merit Lage.
Only needing the 1. Okay.
Throwing down Dryad Arbor. We're going to see a Dredge here. Punishing Fire. Exploration. Is it a gamble or I'm not sure. So an attack from Merit Lage. We're gonna see Paul gain a good chunk of life. 20 to be exact.
And that'll leave Paul pretty much exclusively on the Punishing Fire or Molten Vortex plan, depending on whether he brought that along to the party.
The fact that his hand is just a bunch of swords, I do think that Paul is going to be able to lock this game out with Wasteland. I think you're right. How much is it to play here? I want to say it's just $5. $5 for FNM. And we do store credit, so a lot of these players.
Yeah, Vervandi, Jeff can find a knight, but he has to find a knight very quickly here. Otherwise, he's just going to be kind of locked out of the game.
There are two explorations. If he doesn't find a knight literally right now, then
yeah.
And you know what? It might even be too far gone.
I think it just might be game. You know, Thespian Stage is also able to turn into another wasteland if necessary. Yeah, so here we see it says, yeah, and I'm going to hit that too. Bring back those.
Play all 3.
Play all 3. Kill that one.
Go score to that one.
And I'll leave you with the basic for now.
A Legacy 1K. A Legacy 1K, I want to say we did $35 for the Legacy 1K.
All right, so that game goes to Paul. So he's able to lock it out.
All right, let's. I'm sure we're a couple turns into our match over here.
Okay.
Or not even. All right, so it looks like we saw a Delver on turn 1 from Steven, and then we've got a Ponder on turn 1 from Corey.
Here we have a Brainstorm on upkeep in order to flip that Delver, revealing
Diabolic Edict.
Diabolic Edict. Now we know that Edict was in Steven's main deck, but Edict doesn't really seem ideal versus Corey's deck.
No, it's a Baleful Strix.
Yeah.
I don't want Edict against the deck that plays Baleful Strix. Even if you can manage to catch a Leovold, it's nothing that a lightning. It's no different than a lightning bolt.
It's possible that Steven didn't really have enough cards to side out and side in, and it's just kind of left in there as well. I can at least kill something with this, so it's not a dead card per se.
I'll tell you what, this Liliana, if this resolves, it's going to be an issue. What is this? A Jitte.
Okay.
Whoa. That's a good one.
That's the thing. How much does it cost you to play, Riley?
We in fact, mentioning the 1K, we actually are getting things set up. We don't have any official plans, but we want to do a 1K at the end of April. That's what we're shooting for at the moment. No official date.
Mm-hmm. There is at least one Blue-Red Delver player in the room today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Blue-Red Delver does look pretty good in this meta.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Corey does have the mana to cast Liliana. Liliana, however, not exceptional at the moment against an active insectile aberration.
Ooh, we do have an Abrupt Decay. Yep, this is gonna take care of Delver, not Jitte.
Interesting.
I actually don't mind this, and the reason is looking over at Steven's lands, he doesn't have a lot to work with. Now, it looks like we did just see, was that 3 lands off the top?
Looks that way.
That's pretty similar, Rally Cold. That's pretty similar to what we're paying. Half a 1K? Okay.
Okay. Fetch land comes down for Steven, and that's going to give him what he desperately needs here. It's going to give him a black source. It's going to kind of make that mana a little bit easier for him, and start allowing him to cast some of what's in his hand. I'm kind of wondering if we're going to see just an Edict here. Can't imagine it's getting a lot better.
No, it's not.
There's a Gurmag Angler. He might be saving it just for a trigger off of a Pyromancer. He does have Pyromancer in hand, so if he can get one more mana next turn, then he'll be able to get a little bit more value.
Wouldn't you want to fire off that Edict before you show them the Gurmag Angler though? Because if you fire off Edict now, they're gonna sack Baleful Strix, right? Like, there's no way they let their Deathrite Shaman go.
So with Jitte in play, I don't think it matters too much, because once you get that Pyromancer active, you'll be able to equip the token and get rid of that Baleful Strix. But here we see Thoughtseize coming in, and that's going to kind of put a damper on Steven's plans here. Steven, unfortunately, 1 mana short of doing everything last turn that he wanted to. I think if you do have the extra mana, you do Diabolic Edict and run out Gurmag, but just not in the cards. So Corey takes the Edict, leaves Steven with the Pyromancer.
Now he's looking at Snapcaster in hand. He's probably thinking, okay, Abruptocade needs to get rid of this Umazawa Jite. But if he wanted to do that, don't you think he would have done it? Like he had. Oh no, he does have the mana to do it. Okay. Yep, this is Snapcaster. There we go.
Yep.
Then we've got then we'll have a Deathrite activation. Okay.
Yep, and here you see it going after that GT. And now Corey's looking pretty firmly ahead.
Yeah, I think so.
Here we see a Deathrite of Steven's own. A little bit late to the party. So if you're Steven, what do you need to do to start getting back into this? I'd assume you'd want a couple of cantrips for your Pyromancer. And
Cantrip into something that can get this Gurmag Angler swinging.
yeah.
The Baleful Strix is the wall right now. He needs to close out this game sooner than later.
Ooh.
This is the corner. If Corey's turning it now, then there may not be another opening.
So, ooh, wow. So down comes Liliana. That's going to take care of that Pyromancer. And that's going to make things a little bit difficult here. I think if you're Steven, best draw might be something along the lines of Forked Bolt. If he runs it, something like that. 1 damage to Snapcaster, 1 damage to Strix, in for 5.
No, I do know that Corey has a Golgari Charm in his hand. This regenerating Baleful Strix is like the fact that it can threaten to do that. I just don't. As long as Corey keeps this up and the option open, I don't see a good window for Steven to get back into this game.
Yeah, and that Liliana is going to provide a lot of trouble for Steven.
It really will. We'll fight with Deathrights here. Corey ends up taking 2.
Corey does have to be a little bit careful of how much he wants to push damage through. Here we see a second Deathrite coming down. Liliana ticks up on the Gurmag.
And nothing to do from there.
Okay.
Now Wasteland taking out Bayou is relevant.
Yeah. Very relevant. So we're gonna see some mana floating here.
So if Steven ever wanted to get rid of this Baleful Strix, it kind of needs to be this turn. There is no opportunity to regenerate with Golgari Charm. I'm actually really surprised he activated there. Holding up regeneration seems
so
like the important thing. But
I think he did it because of Steven's own Deathrite.
Okay.
Steven's own Deathrite would have prevented Corey from being able to activate his Deathrite and get that green mana source. So he just figured, I'll do it now, and that might encourage Steven to use his Deathrite.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Admiral Nobeard, welcome. Better late than never. Just ending things up with the final round, and look, there's the lightning bolt.
Oh. Wow. And that's gonna come at the perfect time for Steven.
Yep. Corey's looking at his hand with Golgari Charm and going, Huh.
Yeah.
Missed that.
Fortunately, that Gurmag is weakened a little bit by Liliana.
Yeah, it's attacking for 3 here. It's a 3/4. Liliana did activate on Gurmag Angler. 3 damage, not nearly as threatening as 5. 3 damage nonetheless.
And I think if you're Corey, at 10 life here, I think you can let that go through.
It depends where the damage is going.
If it is going at Liliana, Liliana might be your way to win the game here. So,
yep.
Yeah, not...
And that's where the decision goes.
Mm-hmm.
Steven decides to attack Liliana. Corey...
pretty quickly blocks.
Yeah, knew that was something that he was going to do.
Liliana down tick, able to get back a Snapcaster.
Okay. Definitely don't mind this play, but
gets a Strix.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
I can get behind that.
Yeah. Get the Strix back. Yeah, Liliana.
Sure.
Liliana looks good.
2 Death Rights open, so able to have that regen mana open as well.
If he chooses to keep it, yeah.
Yep.
No, I like this play from Corey a lot.
Yeah.
For a sec, I thought he was looking at Snapcaster, and I'm like, what's
right,
relevant?
Exactly.
You know, like, are you going to brainstorm? Or are you going to ponder? But no, just getting this Baleful Strix back.
Much better line.
Keeping that wall up. This allows Lily to kind of go, you know, wherever it needs. This is going to be a Pyroblast, probably taking out this Delver, and I do think that I would Pyroblast this.
Sure. Yep.
What does a person do with 2 Plateau? You either play red-white taxes, or you give 1 to a friend, or you sell it.
Okay. So, a couple Death Right activations coming in.
Captain QC, thank you for sharing. Appreciate that. Oh yeah, red-white taxes. Yeah, it's kind of a thing. It's not a great deck, but it's all right. You can win games. You're welcome. So kind.
All right, so Snapcaster being rebought this time.
Yeah, so Corey is definitely hit the point where he's like, yeah, not winning with this Liliana. I need to grind this game out. Probably looking for a Jace or a removal spell for this Gurmag Angler, right?
Just anything to get a little bit more value. Corey also able to play a fetch land here, probably allowing him to get green mana a lot more easily again, either off of Death Rights or off of a Bayou or something along those lines.
Captain QC, I actually care more than I should. Let's put it that way. I care more than I should.
So, Snapcaster Brainstorm. We see a Leovold.
Leovold's a good start. Steven's trying to get back into this game. Mm-hmm. You know, one of the best ways is to dig deeper.
Yep.
Trying to find those matter spells, and I think Leovold's a good card to have at the moment.
It's definitely a good start. Another Strix is big as well.
He wants a couple things to happen. He wants either the Gurmag Angler or the Death Ray off the board. Either one of them off the board frees up a line to victory. If you get Gurmag Angler off the board, you get to start attacking.
Sure.
If you get Deathrite off the board, then your Deathrites get to start ticking down their life total 4 damage at a time.
There's green source for Corey.
And Steven wants a deluge. Yes, Steven does want a deluge. However, he's playing Grixis Delver. I don't think Grixis Delver typically plays a deluge, but they could. They could.
Never know.
It wouldn't like surprise me to the point where I'd be like, oh wow, what a weird move. But I don't know. It'd be an interesting sideboard choice. Delver decks don't usually sideboard in cards that are like, here, now let me come back from behind, you know?
So, interesting thing here. Corey has Brainstorm. Corey also, it looked like I saw a flash of a Force of Will. It could have just been that Brainstorm. Never mind. My eyes are playing tricks on me.
They are. What? Eating eggs, rice, and chocolate? I don't.
Okay, and that's gonna be enough for Steven there. He's like,
he's finally had enough with this
writing on the wall. So, Corey takes that match 2-0.
And let's get back and see if there's still a game 3 going on over here.
And that looks like we're
done.
Well,
definitely done. You know it's done when people are sideboarding but with their cards up.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, thank you guys for tuning in today. It was wonderful watching 3 rounds of Legacy with you.
Yeah, it was fantastic. We had some people that we don't normally have on camera today, which I think is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We still got to see a couple of the decks that we're used to. Still no combo though. I don't know. Did lands win? I'm not sure.
Saw a very dramatic Dark Confidant game.
Do you want me to find out before we sign off, Captain QC? I can. If you're that curious. Did Paul the Legend Berman take it all? I'll find out. I can ask.
Boarding face up is a pretty bold move there, Swarm. What's the verdict?
All right. Let's see. What do they call him? Hold on. As Paul? Captain QC calls it,
Paul
the Legend Berman took it all.
There you go.
He did.
Lands with the lockout.
The 1K winner gets it all. Yeah, he's a great lands player. He really is. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. As per usual, I'm just going to give the let you know when we're streaming dealio. I stream 5 days a week on MTGO. Always Legacy. I guess unless Cube is up, then I might do some of that too. And then Tuesdays and Fridays. Tuesdays starting at 7 Mountain Standard Time, and Fridays starting at 7:30 Mountain Standard Time. We have live Legacy paper tournaments, which is what just happened.
Yeah.
Matt's always here on Friday.
Yep.
Bryce is always here on Tuesday. It's a good time.
Regardless of which one you tune into, it's good Legacy action coming your way.
All right, guys. Signing off from Paragon City Games. Hail Heroes.
Hail Heroes.